Hi, this is Nancy Kuykendall with Author Chat, and I'm here with Eileen Moynihan, my friend, in Ireland. I am in the United States, so we are 6 hours different, but we like to get together and speak about author topics. And today we're going to talk about publishing. Now, one thing,
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. What were you going to say, Eileen?
I was just going to say my name is Eileen Moynihan, and
Yes.
I'm here in Ireland, and it's about 4:45 in the evening.
Yep, we are. It's 10:45 here in the morning. So, as I said, we're like about 6 hours apart, right?
Yes,
And with publishing, it is a big topic. We're going to try to condense it fairly small, succinct if we can. But one thing we want to say up front is before you publish, of course, you must write your book. You must edit your book multiple times, possibly. You must have your book proofread. You need to have some beta readers maybe to help you follow your storyline and see if all is correct. When that is all done and it's fully edited and proofread, that is when it goes to formatting. And at that point, once it's formatted and put in a PDF file or an EPUB file for ebooks, it can then be put into a publishing program or with a publisher who takes care of it from there. Did I miss anything, Eileen?
no, I think you got it all. You
Okay.
can use critique groups as well.
Yes. You
Yes,
want it before you send it to be formatted, you want it ready to go. So all of these things have to be done first. And not that there can't be any corrections after formatting or during formatting, but that's not the purpose of formatting. It is to format and have all the rest done first. So you
so
don't want to,
it looks right on the page,
yes.
basically.
And you don't want your formatter to be editing for you unless you have also hired that person as your editor. It can be, one person can be both. And you might even be a formatter yourself. Generally, I think Eileen agrees with me, it's best if you have someone else get eyes on your page besides just you for editing and for reading.
Definitely, yes. It's very important to get a lot of feedback and different opinions and to have it proofread, etc.
Yes.
So
It's very easy to overlook our own errors, even missed words. So we highly recommend that. Now, Eileen is going to start out telling us a little bit about traditional publishing, which is something very different than hybrid self-publishing, indie publishing, or serial reading and publishing. So let's start with traditional, Eileen.
well, once you've got to the formatting stage and you think it's all ready, then you should start contacting literary agents. Now, some people say you have to have a literary agent, other people say you don't have to. So you can decide whether you can try and get literary agents, but it's very, very difficult nowadays to get a literary agent. So you might bypass that and go straight to the publishers. Now, you should decide what genre you're writing in and what your audience is going to be and who you might want to work with. So it's good to look at different publishers to see, are you a good fit for each other? And then to contact them, the best to look at their rules. They all have their different ways of looking at your manuscripts. Now, in the old days, even just a few years ago, it was all just by snail mail, by post. But a lot of the people now just take it by email, which is much better for me anyway. I think it's much easier and less expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So see what they want and follow those rules to the letter. And if they want a query letter, see how long a query letter they want. Do they want the first chapter? Do they want so many words? Make sure you do everything right. And if you're not sure about query letters, there's lots on the internet you can look up to find out how best to approach that. Now, some companies, you could be waiting 6 months to a year, maybe, at least 3 months anyway, to 6 months. Now, some companies don't mind you going to other publishers as well, but some companies say, no, you must wait until you hear back from us or whatever. Now, you have to have a thick skin. You have to get used to being rejected. And don't take it personally, because so many people are rejected. And since COVID, it costs so much to publish a book now that publishers are being very, very careful about who they take on because they have to make money. So sometimes they can be very nice and give you some pointers and say why they didn't take it, and or it just isn't what they think it would be good for them. So, you know, don't take it all to heart. Just look at it and see what they've suggested. And if not, you might decide you want to go down the self-publishing route or the indie publishing route.
Which sometimes are a little bit confusing. They are two different things. And I can say two things about traditional publishing. I never did try that route. I'd say number one, because I didn't want to wait so long. And these other routes, your book will be published sooner. They all have a little bit different scale length on how soon you might be published. In traditional, it seems like there's some prestige if you can be with a traditional publisher, but there are drawbacks as well. And part of that is how long it takes. It takes a very long time. But now self-publishers, they're also called vanity publishers. They are publishing companies, of which there are many. You can look up on the internet, just self-publishers or vanity publishers, and find a very long list of names. One that I was with at one time is Wespo Press. There's Zulon or Zulon Press, Vela. There's many. I can't even name them all, but there's very many. Generally, what they offer is a package for you to buy. And within that package, however much you've purchased, you will get their services. To my knowledge, at least back at the time when I was with Wespo Press, editing was not included. Well, they would do it, but you had to pay an extra fee for that. It wasn't included in the plan fee. So I've seen plans anywhere from like $999 up to $20, $25, $30,000. So it can be quite expensive or not so expensive. They also will build websites for you, but that was an additional fee. In my case, it was an additional $800 if you wanted that. The editing depends on how big your book is. And I had a quite small book that wasn't so much that I did pay for the editing. But then I had a larger book that I said, oh no, I'm not going to pay for that editing. So I had to find editing help otherwise, which, Eileen, we were talking about that. There's Grammarly, which is a program you can use to help edit. There is Scrivener,
Word.
Pro Writing Aid. Yes, Word. If you're writing in Word, they have editing right there to help you. There are other programs as well. In Ingram Spark, I believe there is one. And these help you find your errors, through the program, not through a person per se. You can also hire an editor. You can also have a number of friends, other writers read for you to accomplish that. Now, what self-publishers can do for you is they get your book formatted, they get your book cover done. They set the price. You don't set the price. I think that's true with traditional publishers as well. They just take hands-on and they do it for you, and then your book will be published. They will publish it, in my experience, on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And they will do some very small bits of marketing where they send out a wide announcement to different stores, online stores, brick and mortar stores about this book. I think it goes out on some radio stations too. I can't say that that was a big help. The thing about the self-publishers is they do it all for you, but it's their hands on it, not your hands. For instance, you don't operate your website, except maybe writing your blog if you're doing one. If you want changes, they have to do it. And usually there's a fee for that. Like I said, they set your price of your books. You don't. They will give you, within whatever plan you have, a certain copy of your books. And then you can take those copies and do what you want to with them. Sell them, in your own hometown or wherever. And they will let you submit a choice. Like I submitted a choice for a book cover using iStock. It was called something else at the time, but it's iStock now. And they will use the cover that you chose. So you have a little bit of say in those things, but then they design it for you and they design the inside and they let you look. And I don't remember if I had much choice. I liked what I saw, what they did, so I was happy with it. I did use Wespo. I also used Yorkshire Publishing at one point before that, I believe. When we can come to this, I was using Hybrid Publisher first, which is a combination of traditional facets and self-publishing facets. And they do all the work for you. You have to submit and be accepted by them in hybrid like traditional, whereas self-publishers, as long as you're paying the money for the package, they take you. Unless for some reason they really couldn't accept what you wrote. That could be a case, but I didn't ever see that happen or hear of that happening. So hybrid, you must be accepted by a hybrid publisher. And there was a fee for me that would cover marketing towards the end. Unfortunately, that company folded due to unforeseen circumstances, and all of us who were left hanging had to find another publisher to help us. And I ended up at Yorkshire Publishing, which also has a more traditional side to them and a more self-publishing side to them. So when you're looking for a self-publisher, if you type that in, same with, as Eileen said, with traditional, read all their rules, read what they expect, read what they want from you, look at their packages, see if any of those fit what you want or need or can afford, and choose the one that seems best for you. I think some can be very good and others not as good. I got everything I paid for with Wespo and I have no complaints. But it is a little bit frustrating because you don't have your hands on it as much as you might want to.
Can
So,
I interrupt there?
yes, please do.
Just several things. First of all, about the traditional publishing. If you're doing children's books with pictures, they usually have their own in-house artists. They don't expect you to provide the pictures unless you are a writer artist, and you can talk to them about that.
Okay.
Um, with the self-publishing, be very careful. There's a lot of scamming out there. Check it all out online and be very
Yes.
careful. And the other thing was, you can also use a local printer
Yes.
to publish a book just for local use and put into local shops if you want to, or to sell yourself. But then they won't be online unless you put them up yourself on Kindle Direct Publishing or something.
Right.
Sorry.
And oh no, good. I wanted to make that known about the pictures. Um, in self-publishing, well, when the company closed down, that so many of us were left hanging, it was very, very upsetting, I can tell you. And the whole thing was very upsetting. So to find someone to take you, um, when I started looking for a self-publisher, I was very wary. I was non-trusting of everyone who I talked to or contacted me. But I'll tell you this little testimony for Westville. Every company I contacted badgered me day after day after day after day with emails and calls. And I was like, don't call me, I'll call you, you know? I mean, I got the information, but it was a lot of badgering, except for Westville Press. They did not do that. So I called them again, and a very nice gentleman was talking to me, and he could see that I was very wary to begin anything because I had just been burned big time. And I finally said, okay, I'm going to trust you. And it turned out very well for me. You just have to be careful, do your homework, ask a ton of questions, and maybe get it in writing or in the email or something, because there are people who just want to steal, you know, from especially first time authors that don't know exactly what to expect and are so eager but unknowing how to get it done, you know. And that's the boat I was in.
They can also try and flatter you that your book is marvelous and everything, even if it's
Definitely.
not. So be careful.
Yes, that is a big thing that they do. Flattery, sometimes we'll get them everywhere, but when that starts happening, I'm like, no, no, I'm not going to look there. You know, you just have to really spend some time looking and get a feel for what you think is right for you and is safe. And that brings us to indie publishing. Would you like to start first, Eileen, about that? That's what Eileen are both doing and have been doing for a while.
Well, seeing as I wasn't that young, I felt after trying the traditional route and I wasn't getting very far with that. And I thought, I can't be waiting around. So I kind of looked into doing it myself. I heard about, well, it was Kindle Direct Publishing, but it used to be called something else, and now I've forgotten what it was called.
Create Space, I think. I think
What
it
was
was
it
called
called again?
Create Space.
That's right, yes.
Create Space, yeah.
Create Space, that's what it was first of all, and then became Kindle Direct Publishing.
Yeah.
And it was great. It's like, it is a learning curve, and I found it quite difficult to, it was trial and error, trying to do everything myself. Now you can pay people on Kindle Direct Publishing to do that for you. I was trying to save money and I was trying to do everything myself. Now, I think I did most things okay, but my formatting wasn't very good. And I did get a few reviews of some of my children's books that the formatting wasn't great. So then I did pay someone to do the formatting for me, because you want your book to look as professional as possible. But it's all, you learn as you go along, and you do make errors. That's part of learning. And once your book is up, it's on Amazon and it's worldwide. So people from all over the world can order your books, which I thought was great. And as well as that, you can order your own books, author copies at a lower price, and don't order too many. And the more you order, it's cheaper for shipping. But just trying to decide, well, I'll take 20, 30, 50, whatever. And if you're selling them yourself at craft fairs or book fairs, that's fine. But you're going to be lumbered with all these books. If you order too many, they're not selling. So just be careful. I don't know what else to say about that, really. But I definitely prefer the indie route myself. I have more control over it.
Yes, I had friends here in town that I met after we moved here telling me, are you still with the publisher? Why aren't you using KDP or some other indie program? And I, at that time, believed that I would get farther and do better with the help of the publisher. But that was not true. So one day I said, you know what? I'm just asking, I had two at the time. I'm asking those two publishers to give me my files. And, I was the rightful owner still, to give me my files and all the things I needed, which they did easily. And I took those and I started putting them on KDP. And ever since then, I have uploaded to KDP. At first, I think it's 3 pages in there. You just kind of wade through it. You you fill in the lines. Probably the trickiest part for me was uploading my PDF or my EPUB and my book cover, just to make sure I had help getting those done. At that time, I was not formatting, and I still like to use someone to help me with book covers and sometimes with the formatting. And, a lot of people who do that daily for their work, they know what KD needs and expects in size and everything else. And so they know what to do. And you learn that as you go. But once you have your files, you just click a button that brings them over. I mean, you choose your file, and KDP will tell you if there's anything wrong. They'll even let you know if there's spelling errors and that kind of thing. And or they will say, everything looks fine, and you proceed then. And
yes, because you have a launch, you have a preview where you can see how it looks. And with the covers, you can choose maybe photos from KDP themselves or pictures. And there's different ways of setting it out. There's templates which you just fit your things into. Right. Or you can upload your own cover, which needs to be probably done by a photographer or something. It has to be good quality to load it up and set it up. So there's various ways of doing the covers.
For those, again, I used a lot of stock photos from Unsplash, which is a big place to get free photos. iStock, you often have to pay something, but Unsplash and Pixabay have free photos that are usable for book covers. Canva. there's many places you can find covers if you don't want to have one created for you from an artist. I found the process fairly easy actually, and I liked setting my own price. I felt one of my books was way too highly priced, so I brought it down. You can set your own ebook prices. There's a little bit of a range they give you. In KDP, I have not done this. Maybe you have, Eileen. I have never chosen a wide distribution, but they do have a button you can click where they distribute more widely. Have you done that?
I think I have. I'd have to check now what I've actually clicked.
Okay.
I think I have, yes,
And you know,
because
go ahead.
I like anybody that lives around the world, if they can, to be able to get their hands on my books.
Right.
Yeah.
And in KDP, their royalty system is pretty good. It's 60% for paperbacks. That's less for hardbacks. They're more expensive for authors to manage. And in the Kindle books, it depends on what you choose, but mine are set at 70%. There's a 30% range and a 70% range. So you get 70% back if you want on your ebooks, and you get 60% back on your paperbacks.
But the main thing is not to overprice, because people aren't going to buy if it's too expensive,
Right.
especially ebooks. They expect ebooks to be fairly cheap. So you have to kind of see what are the costs and are you going to make us so much profit?
Right.
So you have to kind of balance all that.
I read one time in an article that the most purchased priced ebook is $1.99.
Yes, I can imagine that.
Now there's more people buying at $1.99 than 99 cents, but beyond that, fewer people. So $1.99 seems to be like the price. Now, I don't have all of mine that low right now, but you can always go in and change your price, put your book on sale, do a sale through KDP. They have some different opportunities as well as advertising, but you can set up these little sales and you can just go in and change your price anytime you want to, and then announce to your readers you have it on sale. There's a lot that's in your hands that you can do.
And before your book comes out, you can actually do promotion of your book will be a certain price for, or free for so many days or whatever.
And what's really nice, this is what appealed to me, is okay, I have my PDF, my EPUB, and my book cover. You know, those take less time than writing your book. Once your book is written, you get those things done, you put them in KDP. A few hours later, your ebook is sitting there live. And for me, usually just a few hours after that, never longer than one day, your paperback is sitting there live and up for sale. That is a much shorter time than 6 or 8 months that self-publishers do, or years that a traditional publisher might take.
Can I just say too that sometimes it's good to order an actual proof before you actually go to publish, because then you can see what it looks like are the mistakes.
Right.
Because I did that before now, and the colors in my book, because I do children's books mostly, they were all over the place. So I was glad I ordered the proof first.
Yeah, that's a good point. I have done that too. And the proof usually comes fairly quickly.
It does,
And you
yes.
can look at it quickly. And then you just go into your KDP account and click on publish, and there you go. Within hours, your books are up.
And the beauty of KDP is if you've made it might have been up for a few weeks and then suddenly you see there's a typo or somebody's told you there's a typo, but you can go back and change it
Yes.
and it'd be back up within the day, you know.
Yes.
So that's another good thing.
Yes, very good thing. And now, aside from KDP, there are other indie publishers places to go. Excuse me. Ingram Spark is where you can publish. I have not used it yet. It's very popular though. It's a similar idea to KDP. And excuse me, they offer a little bit more availability for hardbacks if you want to do hardbacks. In KDP, they have to be 5.5 by 8.5 or bigger for hardback. In Ingram Spark, they'll go to odd sizes and smaller sizes from what I understand. I also publish at a place called Draft to Digital. It's very similar to KDP. Oh, by the way, both of those are free and cost you nothing to go in there and publish your book. So in Draft to Digital, same thing, you upload your EPUB, your PDF, you type in the name of the book, all the info they need. They publish within, it takes them a few days, but they publish to about 15 to 18 bookstores, online bookstores and lending libraries. So I've looked, I see my books in lending libraries. I see them across a range of stores. In fact, I looked a week ago and found my books were in 25 stores. I think 2 of those were lending libraries, including Walmart. And Drafted Digital doesn't offer Walmart.com, so I don't know how they got there, but somehow through the process, they go far, you know. So if people aren't Kindle readers, they like ebooks, but they're not Kindle readers, they can have their Nook, read up from their Nook or their Kobo or their iApple, you know. There's a wide variety. The nice thing about Drafted Digital is it gives you a universal link. And if your customer has that link, it will show them every place that book is, and they can decide where they want to get it. So it has some perks. It's free. It's not hard to use. They do have a cover creator. One time I had, or 2 times I had a back cover that did not fit right because their barcode is bigger. And I had to adjust that in their little designer there, and it was easy to do. They also they give 60%. Some goes to the other bookstores, publishers, and some goes to them. So 60% is what an author gets. And what else did we think of? Vella, Vellum, Vella.
Yes, I think
Vellum,
Vellum is an editing tool.
yes. And the one last thing we wanted to speak to you about is outside of this, there is kind of an upcomings of people liking to read serialized books. Amazon has one called Vella, that's Vella, where authors can either in real time be writing and put that up or take chapters from their other books and put those up. And another place is Ream Stories, which is only a year and a half old. I'm on Ream Stories, and you create a page and you set up your tiers. You can have just followers, which is free, or paid tiers as little as $3.99, where you put, I have one for fiction, one for nonfiction, and then one that's both. And you go in, and what I do is I upload chapter at a time once or twice a week. And that's for people who like to read online, serialized, and they may not mind paying a very small monthly fee to have that access to quite a few of your works at one time.
That sounds great because I haven't used that yet, but I think I will. I'll have a look at it. Sounds very good.
It's new to me. I mean, it's a fairly new program. I'm very new to it, maybe a couple months now, but so far so good. And I have a few followers and a few subscribers. You know, it takes time. And they do kind of advertise themselves as for fiction authors, but you can put anything up because I write a lot of nonfiction, and I have both up, including poems and blogs and drabbles. So
Have you put up things that you haven't written already, like that you're in the process of writing? You put them up as you write or not?
yes, you can put
And
them
did
up
you
as you
find
want.
that at the end of that process you edited it?
I haven't done that, but people are doing that, and I know someone doing that, and I think she pretty much has it fully edited before she puts it up. However,
Okay.
I did put one thing I put up was the introduction or preface to my newest book that comes out this month, and that was early on and had not been edited, but I've gone in since and edited it a little bit. I even made note, because you can make notes to your writers. This is first draft, preface, not fully edited, you know, will be more fully edited or whatever. You can put little notes to your readers as you put them up.
And can you get feedback from your readers?
Yes.
That's
They
good.
can sometimes comment. They'll comment to you. You also have a community page where you can write to the public. And when you publish, you can set it to the public so everyone can read it, or you can set it just to your followers or different tiers, depending on what it is and what you're doing. It's another way to share books um, with people who like to read that way.
Sounds very interesting.
And they are going to set up a store on Ream Stories where people can buy the full ebook at once. And I think when I set mine up, I was very careful about my monthly fees because, you know, they can go buy the ebook in one lump sum. But if they prefer to read this other way, you want their fee not to be too high. At least I didn't, you know.
No, no. We want to encourage people to read. So.
Yes. So it was fun. It was another experiment with learning how to build a page, you know, and upload things.
And
So
I'd say it's another new way of getting new people, new readers for your
mhm,
books. So that's good.
yes. And there are a lot of authors on there. And the whole purpose of Ream Stories from the CEOs is they wanted it to be writer to reader, author to reader, without a lot of algorithms and all the things that are in Amazon and all the other places we put books. They just wanted it to be writers putting up what their readers can read for free or for a price, whatever the author decides. And they have some guidelines, but they're very open and easy to use.
I just thought of something. That when you're putting up your books on KDP, they look for keywords in different categories
Hmm.
to kind of put you in a particular genre or topic. So when people are looking for those topics or genres, that will take you to your book maybe. So
Yes.
that's
And
important as well.
maybe one last thought with that is the book blurb, what you
Oh,
have on
yes.
the back of your book, is very important. And those keywords are very important. I always sit there and struggle over the keywords because I think, what are people typing in that they're looking for that has to do with this book or story, you know? Um, and you have, I think, up to 7, if I remember right. So you can put in
I think
7
7, yes.
words, every little phrases or keywords that when people type in to Google or wherever, your book might pop up because of that keyword. And then the blurb, of course, or any endorsements you can get for the back of your book or even inside, that's very helpful to explain your book to readers.
Really, you want to entice your reader in, so kind of keep it fairly short and don't give away the whole book.
No, no,
You might put in something maybe from the book that will keep them guessing. So
yes. I think it's good to keep them short. And it's easier to write them when you keep them short.
that's it.
So, because they take a lot of thought, actually. So, okay, Eileen, we covered traditional self-publishing, the hybrid combination, indie publishing, which we both know best probably, and then Ream Stories. Do you have anything else?
So we just mentioned about using a local printer if you wanted to.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I have done that myself when I created 2 short stories that were too small in page count for either draft to digital or KDP to print. So I put them up as ebooks and then I printed them locally in little booklets with the same cover and the same formatting. And I just have them in some local stores that sell local artists' books and sell them myself or give them away as gifts. So
So
that
it's really what you feel happiest with yourself, and
mhm.
you'll find that you will find the right way for you,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
You know, every person's different. You have to research these, figure out what you would like to do, and then go for it. That's the main thing. Go for it and give it a try. Anything else
So
before we go?
no, I just hope you all get writing and you all get published one way or the other.
Yes, keep writing and follow the steps. You can find a lot of help online and YouTube places with videos to help you and places to help you know about publishing. So we hope our little tips and info have helped you today. And good luck in your books and your writing. See you
Thank
next
you,
time.
Nancy.
We do this once a quarter, so we'll see you next time on Authors Chat. Thank you, Eileen. Nice to
Thank
see
you,
you.
Nancy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.